I'm trying to step outside the box, step outside my comfort zone, and portray that on every single dish. It's me being different and being intriguing and testing the boundaries of cuisine and utilizing parts of the animal that nobody else utilizes. It's all about like how much fun you're having while you're doing this stuff. I mean, if you see where I put my awards, I put them by the bathroom. I'm just a known guy on Wall Street in Norwalk, and that's not enough for me.
This is Wall Street, Norwalk, Connecticut, the home of Bar Sugo. Since opening in 2012, Bar Sugo has become an insanely popular place to eat. Led by Chef Pat Pascarella, Bar Sugo is known for putting a spin on classic Italian food. Things are going well at Bar Sugo. The tables are filled every night with people eating and drinking and having a great time, but now Chef Pat wants to shake things up a bit. He wants to bring a whole new menu to Bar Sugo. So he invited me to bring a bunch of my friends to the restaurant to sit down, try the food, and see exactly what's going on. Bar Sugo is kicking ass. A lot of chefs would rest on their laurels. And when you initially told me you wanted to introduce like an innovative new menu, my first thought is you're crazy.
Yeah.
Is it just because you like to push yourself?
So for the past 3 years, I've given everybody that comes in here everything they want. Literally, if you come in, you say, I want this without this, I did it for you, everything. Now, it's on the bottom of the menu. Trust the chef, no substitutions. You get nothing. Whatever I want to give you is what you're eating. And it's not being cocky or being ignorant or anything like that. It's keeping all the guys in the kitchen motivated. It's keeping the wait staff motivated. It's keeping myself motivated. And you know, it's just we're just having so much fun.
The first plate that came out was one of those things where if I saw it on a menu, like personally, if I saw beets and burrata on a menu, it would probably not be something I went towards.
No.
But I loved it, and I thought it was really tasty. What's the reason that you put that as the first item that we all tasted tonight?
I like the elements of texture in a dish. I like the elements of flavor in a dish. You had your sweet, your salty, your savory in there. And for me, beets are like refreshing, you know? So my thing is that I use the beets on that dish as like an aperitif or a digestive where it's cleansing your palate for the rest of the meal.
And then from there, like you went right into something. When I was a kid, I would never eat squash, ever. My mom would serve me squash, my grandmother would serve me squash. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just amazed that a chef can take something that, to me personally, is not horribly appealing and then make it really delicious because the crispy skin on that squash.
It's so funny because everything else on the dish is so like particular, and it's, you know, lime crema is not easy to make, an orange mustard is not easy to make, and then the banana squash, all we did was roast it. Roasted it with salt and pepper and olive oil, and that's it. And it was like the easiest part of the whole dish is that, and everything else is so complex. So it's funny when people ask like, why'd you come up with that? And I'm like, it's actually pretty easy.
Just like the flavor and the texture, like, because you assume it's going to be very soft, but then you have the crunchy like skin that was roasted, and it was amazing.
How do you take octopus, make it different without kind of, you know, taking away what makes octopus special?
So what we do actually is a lot different than normal people do. Is we sous vide it. So we take it, vacuum seal it, we cook it for 5 hours at a constant temperature of 83 degrees Celsius. Inside the bag that we vacuum seal, we do herbs, red wine. And then this is just for a char. So at this point, you can't overcook it, you can't undercook it. It's perfectly cooked.
Are you like a big octopus fan in general?
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid.
So what is it about octopus that you like?
The texture.
Texture.
Mm-hmm.
Is there kind of, with someone like you who, you know, you have a base audience here at Bar Sugo who, you said it yourself, they love the cavatelli, they love the meatballs, and then you put duck heart on the menu. You know, what goes through your mind when you put something that's that polarizing on the menu as duck heart?
I like to do things that might be weird, but the dish sounds so intriguing and it's gonna make you want to taste it. It's gonna make you want to try it. And you know what? You might hate it, and you know what? That's fine with me. I'm still gonna put it out there, and I'm still gonna let people taste it because you're never gonna go anywhere else, I don't think, in Fairfield County and get a duck heart. But you know that you had it here.
Are you a fan of the duck heart?
I'm actually really surprised how much I like it.
One of the things I love, though, is that you're talking about this and you're like, no one will ever eat liver and mushrooms, but you still put it on the freaking menu. And like from a business perspective, that's insane.
crazy.
You're
It's
saying
crazy.
like no one's gonna eat this, but I'm
My
gonna
wife,
try
my
it.
wife wants to kill me every day, but she's really happy for me wanting to explore different different ingredients and different things for people to try and get them out of their comfort zone. But I know every time I write a new menu, she's cringing. I was just messing around. I was like, everybody likes brown butter and sage. And actually, I was gonna drizzle balsamic over the top, and that night, but it slipped. And I dumped a ton of balsamic into it, and I was like, man, it tastes really good. And then we've been messing around with curing egg yolks. So you take an egg yolk, you salt it like you would salt prosciutto, so you completely submerge it in salt, and then you wash it off and hang it up to dry, and it dries out and ends up being hard, and you can grate it. It's the new Parmesan cheese. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's try this.
The brown butter sage is really good. It like definitely makes it taste a whole lot different than basic ravioli.
There is something about it that is different than your normal ravioli that you buy and cook, and it's much better. I enjoyed it.
I saw fish and chips in the menu, and I'm like, I'm curious
Yeah.
because I was wondering what you were gonna do with fish and chips, knowing you
Yeah.
like as a buddy. But like, the fish and chips was out of this world.
This restaurant used to be a fish and chips place. When I was down and out and I didn't want to do this anymore, and I was angry at the world, I was like, you know what, man, like. Let's have some fun. And we tested it out. I remember the first time we tried it, I was like, man, this is really good. This could work, And I was like, this is our ode to these fish and chips gods that were here before us. So.
How do you decide what kind of dessert's gonna cap off your dish? Because it's kind of like a band deciding what kind of song they're gonna close out with.
We've been running this dish for a while. Everybody's been going nuts about it. It's a sweet dish. It's not overly sweet, and I like the texture difference with the crumb cake topping. And the maple itself is not overpowering maple, but you get a good amount of it from it. If you look at a lot of dishes you had tonight, there's not many that were like over the top heavy. I'm not a huge fan of eating that way. I hate leaving a restaurant feeling absolutely disgusting when you leave, and so I try to be a little different.
This is the genius who cooked everything tonight, Chef Pat. You're a dude who strikes me as very punk rock. You just kind of go your own way. You have your own opinion on things. You go your own way. You want people to remember you for what you present. 20, 25 years from now, what do you want people to say about Chef Pat and what he did with food?
Not doing what everybody else is doing, never being happy with what you're doing, always pushing yourself. I feel like when you're finally content, that you kind of lost. When you're content, that's not good enough for me.
Thank you very much for doing
Thank
it
you.
tonight.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
There's the old line, happiness is contagious. I always thought that was just a line until I saw Chef Pat. Chef Pat says that for the first time in years, he's happy. And that happiness, it's spreading. It's spreading through the food that he's serving, and you can see it. You can see it in our friends, all of us laughing, smiling, having a great time, talking about life and the positive things the future holds. What is making that possible? What is making that joy so prevalent? It's innovative food, made by a passionate chef who goes into work every day and genuinely loves what he does. Some people say that a truly joyful person is never without a smile. Well, if you're someone who believes that, you should know that during our time at Bar Sugo, there was not one moment where Chef Pat was not